Good morning, everybody. My name is Pranav, a legal intern at Lexis and Company for the month of June. And today I will be talking about contract of bailment under the Indian Contract Act. As per Section 148 of the Indian Contract Act, bailment is the delivery of goods by one person to another for some purpose upon a contract that they shall, when the purpose is accomplished, be returned or otherwise disposed of, according to the deductions of the person's delivery. What are the essentials of a contract of bailment? There are five main essentials to a contract of bailment. They are: the bailer must deliver the goods to the bailee under a contract which satisfy the conditions of Section 10. However, sometimes the contracts may be imposed upon parties by operation of law. Delivery of movable property. Delivery means transfer of possession of goods from one person to another. It is of two types. Firstly, actual delivery. A delivery is said to be actual when the goods are physically handed over by one person to another. And the second one is constructive or symbolic delivery. A delivery is said to be constructive if it is made by doing anything which has the effect of putting the goods into the possession of the bailee. Third main essential is the purpose. The delivery of the goods must be for a specific purpose. If the goods are delivered by mistake to a person, then there is no bailment. Fourth essential is the return of goods. Once the purpose of bailment is fulfilled or the period of bailment has expired, the goods which form the subject matter of bailment must be either returned back to the bailer or disposed of. And the fifth essential is the ownership. Under the contract of bailment, ownership is not transferred and the bailer continues to be the owner of the books. Now let's look at the different types of bailments. There are two types of bailment. First is on the basis of reward. This is again categorized into gratuitous bailment. It is a bailment in which no consideration passed between the bailer and the bailee. And the second one is non-gratuitous bailment. It is a bailment in which there is a consideration that passes between the bailer and the bailee. The second type of bailment is on the basis of the parties. This is again further divided into three. Firstly, bailment for the benefit of the bailer. Secondly, bailment for the benefit of the bailee. And thirdly, bailment for mutual benefits. Now let's look at the duties of a bailer. The first duty of a bailer is duty of disclosure. Under Section 150, it provides that the bailer is bound to disclose all the defects or faults in the goods delivered by him to the bailee which are likely to interfere with the usage of goods or which would expose the bailee to some risks. Second duty is duty to bear extraordinary expenses. As per Section 157, the bailer has to pay any extraordinary expenses incurred by the bailee during the course of bailment when the goods are required to be carried or some work is done in relation to the goods by the bailee. The bailer is supposed to indemnify the bailee. The third duty is indemnification for the loss when the bailment is terminated. According to Section 159, if the bailment is terminated by the bailer before the expiry of its term or before its purpose could be accomplished, he is liable to compensate the bailee for the loss suffered by him due to its premature termination. The fourth duty is duty to receive back goods. The bailer is supposed to take the possession of the goods as soon as the period of bailment is expired or upon the fulfillment of the purpose of bailment. If the bailer denies the receipt of goods, the bailee shall be entitled to receive damages from the bailer for the expenses he has incurred due to the custody of such goods. And the last duty is defective title. As per Section 164, the person who has defective title is not supposed to make bailment to others, and if the bailee suffers any loss or damage as a consequence of such bailment, the bailer will be liable to indemnify the bailee for such loss. Now let's look at the duties of a bailee. There are five main duties of a bailee. First one is duty to take care. Under Section 71, the bailee is bound to take as much care as a man of an ordinary prudence under similar situations would take care of his own goods. If the goods bailed are lost or damaged, it is for the bailee to prove that he has taken reasonable care of the goods bailed. Second duty is unauthorized use. Under Section 153, the bailee is responsible to use the goods only for those purposes which are authorized by the bailer. If he uses the goods for the purposes other than which he was permitted by the bailer, it amounts to unauthorized use of the goods. In such cases, the bailer has the right to terminate the bailment. Third duty is the duty to return the goods. Under Section 160, it is the duty of the bailee to return the goods to the bailer as per his directions upon the completion of the term of bailment or once the purpose of bailment is complete. Fourth duty is duty to return the profits. Bailey shall be liable to return the goods along with the increase in profits incurring to the goods billed to him. Duty to not mix. The bailey has a duty to take reasonable care while dealing with the goods billed to him. Under section 155, he has a duty not to mix the bailor's good with his own goods. If due to the bailey's default, the goods are mixed with his liability, will be as follows. Firstly, under section 156, if the goods are separable, the bailey has the duty to bear the expenses of the separation which is spent by the bailor. Secondly, under section 157, if the mixture is not separable by the bailor is entitled to be indemnified by the bailey for the loss of the goods. What are the rights of a bailor? The first right is the right to claim compensation for the loss caused to the goods due to the negligence of the bailey. The bailor has the right to claim damages for the loss arising from the unauthorized use of books. Third right is right to claim damages for the loss arising from the unauthorized mixing of goods. Fourthly, right to demand the delivery of goods when the term of bailment is complete. Fifthly, bailor is entitled to the natural accretion, that is, any profit accruing to the goods bailed. And the last right is bailor has the right to terminate the contract with the bailey if he does any act inconsistent with the terms of the contract. Now let's look at the rights of a bailey. Firstly, under section 150, the bailor has the right to be compensated by the bailor for the loss arising from the undisclosed faults in the goods bailed. Secondly, the bailey has a right to claim reimbursement for all the expenses which he has spent for the goods bailed. Thirdly, under section 164, the bailey has a right to claim indemnification for any loss suffered due to defective title of the bailor over the goods bailed. Fourthly, right to receive damages for the expenses incurred due to the safe custody of goods when the bailor refuses to take the possession of the goods upon the termination of the bailment. Fifth right is right to be indemnified when the bailor terminates the contract before its term. And the last right of a bailey is, under section 170, the bailey has the right to retain the goods to the lawful charges for the services rendered by him with respect to the goods has not been paid. With this, I come to the end for today's topic. Thank you.